my back last year and I had knee replacement. That's why I'm in shorts today. Not to be disrespectful, but they did nerve damage to my leg, and I can't wear pants anymore. Can't have the fabric touching it. I don't know that I'll be able to stay till 7 because the pain gets unbearable. It starts.
Well, you can sit whenever you want to, you know.
And
some of us are old, so we appreciate that.
And so him and I loaded this truck and we got up here and I was like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna unload this thing? And Ali jumped out of his pickup truck and said, let me help. And he unloaded the truck. Like, how many landlords do you find?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know, and anything that we've needed, he has just been like, whatever I can do to help, no problem.
Yeah, he's got exciting plans for that project.
He does, yeah.
Well, you're in a good location because it is easy to get in and out of there. The parking is easy. You go to Enfield and you can't go anywhere because there's too much traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And the traffic isn't going to your store, it's just in the way.
My roommate just said to me, when you're done with that meeting, could you run over to Panera and get a crunchy French loaf? I'm making a lasagna. I said, no.
It's a Thursday.
No, I don't. I'm done. I was in Hartford all day. I don't want to deal with Hartford Avenue. I don't want to.
No, it's not fun.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's awful. So, well, it was worse when you used to park and go in the mall. So, but you know, I'm like, no, it's, I don't want to. Well, could you go down Route 5? I said, no, I don't want to go down Route 5 to Big Y. I just want to come home. And I've got all that. So, yeah, it's, the street is, you know, accessible to everybody, I think. And I think there's, you know, once he's I guess going for signage.
Well,
You're with gonna put light box signs up.
Oh, okay.
New signage.
Apartment chamber.
Nice.
You know, I think that'll be good.
And the president of Rubber
So,
What else you got?
President of Scout Hall.
And
You got a little of everything. Just like the dabble, a little of everything.
All about.
And the joint market. Yeah. You gotta do something to keep
yeah,
your pay
it
going.
should be open soon.
You're very.
I understand that got turned over to the town.
Never in it.
Well, the town's operating the commission.
Anything, but it's still good.
So, it's so.
Yeah, but it's so
fun.
important to stay active,
So
and be doing
something you
stuff
wanna
and
get
not
involved
have
in
idle
is
time.
business and work.
I'm actually on the board of the
Have my own.
Well,
Yeah.
fundraising.
Being busy is good.
Very
no
good.
good.
I don't know what to do with myself to have like
Mike,
free
well, one
time.
of the commission members
I don't
came in
wanna-
and they said they actually turned it over to the Parks and Rec Department.
Constantly moving.
No.
I know.
That's good. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'll be looking.
Hey, we're still around. How are you?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
We're making it happen, right?
Nice to meet you too. Hi. Me too.
Finally got you with your
Awesome.
What did I
How
call
was
you?
yours?
One way or another.
Yeah.
We're gonna choose to be.
Yeah.
I'm not talking.
So.
No, right.
For the next couple months, we
There he is.
Great.
Margaret.
2 weeks ago.
We have a, Enfield has a problem. That's the cancer center. So we're taking their customers to the primary care center. Like, I know how serious this is. We usually do $6,000 in March. That's so anyway, I went to pick up a lady from last week. All right, so I'm coming back from Glastonbury and I kept thinking, do I ask her, do I have her? Her name is Margie.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, she says, so I finally said,
Oh, yeah.
she just went out, she went out of sight. There was so much fun. So I have a picture of her. So I have actually one of our, bingo. So I'm gonna print it. That was so funny. You thought I had given her Christmas and everything
So we can, glad to see you. Here, like, right.
It's great. We had our quarterly budget. We have them at Jim's in Windsor. And also Windsor is where Barney McCray and his business, he pays for.
Oh, great.
So, and his sister's a very good guy.
Yeah.
Put it in the paper, blah, blah, blah. We had 3 people.
Oh, okay.
Now we can
Yes.
Right now, so they signed up, both of them. One guy every day.
Thank you.
Wow.
And where are you located?
We gave up our office.
Up at the library.
Yeah, we gave it up. You know, we were taught by Jim. Jim he rents from you, right?
So you work on, so I don't want to.
I have a laptop. Everybody, the drivers sign up online. All of our cars are behind us.
Oh, great. So you can allow this, but not.
No. Jim's the one who said we could.
Sitting across the table, aren't they, with the meeting, business manager. You notice that scared me.
On that, I knew my job well. We're doing about 700
Expecting a good turnout? You never know. First one in a long time. I'd say right now, success. My experience of being somewhere and having one person show up. Well, you learn from one of the best. That's what I learned, right?
I don't have.
I know, yeah. I know. Good. Got a good guy there, right? Got some music.
Yeah, right.
She said she'd be here, but she's a little. Congratulations. Come here. She funded all this.
Maybe. No, they can help you with something. Maybe that's what they allow you to make. Think about it.
There is refreshments. So.
We can't change it. We can't touch the interest. We can't do anything. Our hands are tied. But we can work it out with you, but you're gonna have to do something. And that's okay. Other assistants that can allow you to, because it's not like you have zero.
So looking at another.
Well, that's how we want it. Because we want it. We're not here to work. But then again, if you everybody else is paying for the bill.
And when I pulled in here.
How are you? Whatever, that's a pretty good. He's been saying, and you can always message.
Here he goes again. Visit his son. Whoever did that. I sure do. Just turned 20. John
The one meeting that's all
My gas, my coffee. I saw the sign, I'm like, oh, the double guy.
But
You have 22 drivers. And you kept them all.
it's your seven stop.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Mark, we have Riverton and Pleasant Valley. But Miller has 5 years. They have Broadway. And then they have Melrose, East River, Winterville. Huh? No, just one. No, South Windsor, and Lake Windsor are totally out. So I want
Yeah, it's not.
What's that? Good. I did. I got little puppies. Yeah.
closer you get to
They're Jack Russell dogs, so they're because Jack Russell stubborn in them, especially her. She's more job than anything else. I would say. She looks typical job. My wife, she's very wrong. The dachshund, my brother's sister. But boy, yeah, we did. They came from Georgia, and I got them from a restaurant called Western Ridge, and she usually does like stuff like. Oh, actually, sure, she put these. dogs out. I transfer the Michigan all the time. And we get which is my and I said, okay. But I didn't tell him that's the rest of the road. So he pulled in the driveway that night and they saw. I could drive down and back there. Enjoy. We actually picked them up the night before the and now big place.
And that.
I've got it fenced in yard, so I filled out the gaps with bricks and walls that I could. Yes, sorry, I'm running my mouth. Welcome. Everybody gets one. You already got one.
Hey, there he is.
So I need to concentrate on taking them out and making sure they do the
Hey,
come down and see my neighbor, no car wash down the street.
yeah.
Okay, looking forward to it. That's good. I actually, what I've done, I had my business in Hartford, which I know you have a store in Hartford. I, for the past 8 years, I moved up here, and what I've done is I get, this is I help every summer through the Our Piece of the Pie or the Latinos in Progress, and I would hire inner city youth kids and mentor them through the program. So it's actually written up in a lot of national publications about it, trying to give these kids an opportunity because they're not learning basic accounting and how to run a cash register school.
Bruce says you ought to do something.
So I don't have any cards me tonight because we married. Do you have one? I can email you the stuff on piece of the time. You should actually go speak to them because you can get the kids, especially the you probably 18-year-olds. Yeah, so you could probably still get some of the 18-year-olds. Not all really and in the program, you can get them for free. So it's like an internship. Yeah, it's like an internship. So you would mentor them and stuff, and then I had 2 kids that came on and worked for me on salary after that. The first one finally left. We could help the path.
Exactly.
I walked into my new store one day and I couldn't figure out whether it was this street or pet store. I was like, let me say it, like, you can't bring that stuff here, I'm sorry, you know, so, and yeah, and then he took a whole different, he went out, he wanted to be unemployed for the, you know, extra money, and then he found a different path recently, he found Jesus, and that's all, so, that's great. It's a booming industry, it really is. I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah.
They got license classes, they got the main fish work, they got.
They can watch the work.
Oh, yeah.
If you just drive up to the one in Springfield and watch the cars go in, and then I had George, right next door. George was she's in college now, but she's not for last year high school, and last year she was in college. I ruptured the disc in my back, and she was, you know, on spring break, and she took over the whole store. 18-year-old girl just took over the whole store and ran it for me. ran it all the way up until last August. And she wants to come back, so just really impressive. She did everything from ordering to banking to you name it. She's an accounting major, so it's, you know, it's a great idea.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
She's going to Aetna this year for her accounting. Insurance. Yeah. No, she's going to Aetna or Cigna for her internship, and she might come on the weekends. We'll see. But she's got another girl answering now. Actually, we hooked her up with Showcase for Dogs the other day, and she's going to work some there and some with us. So that'll be great. She'll finish off. It was 3 to 6 weeks. Yeah, I tried to make it so that, you know, we could have some of the folks here. How long do you think before the car wash is up?
Sometime mid-July.
I used to use the gas station a lot in Dunkin' Donuts. My wife, the manager's not the nicest person there, so.
That's so good. Franchising, like they do anything about that.
So, but I'm looking forward to the car wash. Are you gonna have like a monthly subscription program?
Like you said,
So what will the monthly be?
Right, yeah, it's a better job. Right.
So we have like unlimited vacuums and stuff too?
Oh, that's we're actually. We'll have free vacuums, free bed offers, so we have a vac cleaners.
No, that's great, because, you know, I'll be honest, I'm really bad about washing my truck. I get a free car wash with every oil change, and I get free oil changes. I think I'm due for one. With COVID, I haven't driven much. At least I haven't left town tomorrow, I think. I love it. It's a black truck, so I like it clean. You know, and it's a Jeep, so. I did that one. A couple of years ago, my dad had passed away, and I was driving back towards Ohio, outside of Columbus.
Hey, how are you?
Jason
Good.
Meza, my mom, so I spent 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here. And the 2 weeks that I was here, I had a full-time job in time. My full-time job, I worked in healthcare. My boss was like, hey, we're open on our office next to Fenway. Can you help me? And I was spending 2 weeks in Boston, 2 weeks in Ohio. So I come home Saturday from Ohio, swap bags, and head to Boston. And I did that for 5 months, and I put 40,000 miles on it. And that's for time. And I lived in Chicago, like Rocky Hill, and I did 40,000 miles. Oh, did you? And then you're building one of your too, right?
Right now.
Yeah.
Feeding
Yes,
kilos,
yes.
East Windsor.
Well, I saw the name.
That's great.
I'm glad you did. It's expanding quick. And then on top of that, he's building probably half a dozen gas stations right now. I like the franchise. We graduated a year ago from college, and a year that he put in his big game plan.
Actually, two of my classmates from high school. Yeah, I don't know what they do now, but actually I know what I'm not going to say. And the other one, maybe talk a little bit of that now.
There you go.
I'm trying to think of what he could write. Honestly, we're probably about the same college class as well as Mike, the older. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's also. Okay. 92 or 93. It's a nice.
So what's that to be right? Just right.
I don't go here to stop.
I will let you introduce yourself to them. No.
Yeah.
Trees in
You go north, go all that fire right now. It's so dry. You're in the ground. And I'm not gonna build it. So you got to put it in there. Because right on top of the hill. Yeah. That's not a problem. Right. Yeah. Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here. Tuesday. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we had that rainstorm. Well, we go to different places. We are going to start a program soon.
That's what my league is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see it in the back.
I took mine.
Nobody's sitting in the front row. So this is your dog.
Guess what? You got about 30 seconds. 'Cause I'm quick. Hello, everyone. Is everybody having an exciting day?
Yeah. Fighting away.
Two liars in the back. Don't trust them. My name is Jim Richards, or a lot of people know me as Jimbo. And I'm part of our economic development team here in East Windsor. And more specifically, I'm part of the Economic Development Commission. Our other commission members that are present are Gil Hayes. Gil, raise your hand. Hi, everybody. And Brian Turley. And this economic commission is on a revitalization. As the town has grown, we saw this year that the commercial is going real well as far as growth. And we want to continue that. Things we're touching on, Brian and Gil are working on the transit. We've got 10% of our population on this side of town with no way to go either shop or be part of the workforce. So that's one of the things. We're promoting commercial real estate via the selectman's office, which is good. And we're also looking for solutions to problems in town. And when I say problems, that doesn't mean negative. It just means something somebody's overlooked, something somebody should have done. And that's what we're doing. Our mission is twofold as the Economic Development Commission. One is to attract new businesses, which we love to do, but also retention of you, our businesses. Because the success of our community also depends on the success of our businesses. And we realize that. I do want to thank Gil Hayes, though. He is just the past chairman, and we wouldn't be where we are as far as being revitalized and moving forward if it hadn't been for his leadership. So a round of applause for Gil. And did everybody meet everybody? So we're going to do what I like to do, drive people crazy. Here we go. Ruth, just, you don't have to stand up and say your name and what you do. Real quick, you don't even have to start.
I'm with Calgary, so I'm the town planner.
And you're not.
I'm Kevin Barthelmess. I'm with Soapy Noble. Matt Auger, I'm the Director of Operations for Soapy Noble.
It's going to be a new car wash, by the way.
All the comments and the town assessor comments.
Don't tell her anything. Paul?
Paul Benson, Builder Developers.
Len Norton, Economy Swimmer.
Town engineer, public works director.
Scott Andrews, a commercial lender at Windsor Federal. And I'm Luke Kettles with Windsor Federal as well.
Hi, I'm Jan Marnicky. I own East River Massage.
I'm Margaret Hale. I'm the director of the Nutmeg Senior Ride Program.
Danielle Miller, I'm the zoning enforcement officer in East Windsor. Amy O'Toole, I'm the finance director for the town of East Windsor.
Well, already introduced.
Yeah, but you can say, hey, work for it, Brian. Here's your chance to promote your company.
I'm Brian Curley. I work for 360 Federal Credit Union, excuse me, in the lending division. And I'm part of the Economic Development Commission.
Corey Newton, I'm the administrator over at Touchpoints of Chestnut. Elise Cecil, administrator at Touch River. Lori Mangello, I own Budget Blinds Benfield. I serve the East Windsor area. Custom blind shades, plantation, shuttered drapes, residential and commercial.
And she's a member of the East Windsor Chamber of Commerce. That's why she's there.
Gil Hayes, EDC.
Paul Anderson, let's see, president of the Prospect Library, president of Scout Hall, president of the Water Pollution Control Authority, director in the Chamber of Commerce. I missed something?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm relaxing through yours. Paul's an all-around guy. If you need something in business, talk to him.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Charlie Nordell, a selectman here in town.
Sarah Muska, also a selectman here in town.
And I'm Bob Marshall. I'm probably the newest business in town. We're grand opening tomorrow called Naturally Dogs and Cats. We're a retail pet supply store. We've been in Hartford for 8 years and relocated up here to East Windsor this month and really excited. We sell retail pet supplies as well as bakery items, and we'll be opening a self-service dog wash once we get funding for that in the future. So it's excited to be part of the community. And thank you, everyone.
Excellent. We're going to have that 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. He's giving out $100 bills. I don't know what's in financial. Anyways, recently, the EDC decided that we would start trying to do an annual meet and greet just like this. Because it's important that businesses meet the government. We don't always have time to come to all the little meetings that government has. And this is a great opportunity to meet the people that can assist you and help you succeed in your business. Unfortunately, Senator Anwar, who had intended to be here, and he truthfully was disappointed because he just really wanted to come out here. He thinks East Windsor is a vibrant place. He got called into this session. So he's down in Hartford right now, putting up with foolishness, I'm sure. So beyond that, a couple months ago, Gil and I had the pleasure of going with Ruth up to the North Central Chamber of Commerce meeting, which had included all the 4 towns and so on. And one of the speakers was our own first selectman, Jason Bowser. His speech, Gil will tell you afterwards, I looked at Gil and said, I want to locate my business in East Windsor. And so tonight we decided that we want our East Windsor businesses to know what your town government's up to, what opportunities might exist for you if you're expanding or growing, or who you might know that may need to come to town. We got lots of land, we got lots of space, we got reasonable taxes, and I'll let Jason tell you all the other good stuff. Our first selectman, Jason Dowd.
Thank you very much, Jim. And thank you to the Economic Development Commission for putting this on. This is actually a wonderful turnout. It's nice to see. I have a presentation that I kind of revamped from when we spoke at the EDC breakfast a couple months ago, but I want to start off by recognizing the staff and the board members who are in the room. One of the things that I'm really, really proud of since having assumed office in late 2019 are the people that have come on board, the new staff that we have, the staff that have stepped up since that time, and the board members who have worked collaboratively to move things forward. And I think we are starting to see that East Windsor is moving forward and there's a lot of opportunity here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So I put a high priority since taking office on fostering a good business climate in East Windsor. The staff and I look at economic development like a 3-legged stool. There's economic retention, there's economic recruitment, and there's attitudes. The first leg of the stool that I'm going to talk about is economic retention. A key piece of economic sustainability is to keep the businesses that we have here. Towards that goal, I'm going to highlight 3 things that the town has been working on. First of all, and there are some recipients of it here in the room. Last year, we used a portion of our American Rescue Plan Act. I'm actually a slide ahead. I'll cut to it. Last year, we used a portion of our American Rescue Plan funding to provide a small business and nonprofit assistance grant called the Erase Grant. It's since been emulated by towns all over Connecticut. Old Lyme, East Lyme, Waterford, Greenwich, Somers have all taken our program and adapted it so that they also are supporting small businesses in their community. And they've each taken their own personal tack to it, so it's not a carbon copy of what we've done. But East Windsor was at the forefront of saying, we have this tranche of money coming from the federal government. We know that we have a need in this community to support our businesses, and so we quickly moved to do that. With the support of the Board of Selectmen from July 7th, I think, of last year to September 2nd, we were able to process more than 115 small business grant applications in amounts up to $10,000. We put $1.1 million into our local economy. That is meaningful, and it was recognized by those other towns who are now emulating it. We are now in the process of doing a shop small passport program. If there are small businesses in the room where this may be appropriate who haven't signed up yet, we're certainly still taking applicants. But This is modeled after the Connecticut Farm Wineries passport program, their winery passport program, which is a very popular tourism tool that's used across the state of Connecticut. At the time when I worked for the Department of Agriculture, there were 45 wineries and vineyards in Connecticut that participated. And if you went to enough of those, you with the passport, you were thrown into a drawing for a trip to Spain to go wine tasting for 2 weeks. Pretty good deal. Certainly, we're not in that league. We're not going to be sending people away to spend their tax dollar, their spendable dollars. We want them to spend that money here in town. But what we are going to try and do is stretch out the buying season longer than Small Business Saturday through the holidays. You know, everybody starts thinking about how they're going to spend their holiday money or their shopping dollars around the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We're trying to stretch that runway out of it. So I think the program is going to start around tax-free week in August, with participating businesses being able to enter their name into this passport program, and we encourage consumers to spend their dollars throughout the fall to build on that let's spend our dollars here attitude. It's a little bit of a ambitious project, I would say, and so far we don't have the participation quite yet to activate it, but I'm hoping that we'll get there so that we can give this a whirl and see if we can. Yeah, Jen.
Who do I reach out to get involved in that?
Actually, you can stop and talk to either Jen or Melissa in my office. Well, I thought I'd seen her, but they're no longer. So it's basically just a way of saying we want to encourage people to spend their money here, and this is what the government can do to help. So this is us supporting a market economy by encouraging people to spend their dollars locally. And then where am I? Shop small. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm sorry. The small business website is what I wanted to talk about. I do business visits. I am pretty regularly engaged with the small business community in East Windsor for a couple of reasons. We want them to know that we appreciate that they're here. We want to see what we can do to support them, and what we do with that is I'll do a little write-up of a photo op. We'll post it on the town social media page, and then link to their website onto our website as a means of if somebody's doing a Google search, driving traffic to local businesses here in town. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'm from away, where can I grab something to eat? Where can I get my hair done? Where can I get my car serviced, or whatever the small local business attitude is? Where can I find that in the town of East Windsor? We want our website to be supporting small businesses in the community. So that's something that I think I've been to more than 75 businesses now. And that's something that we are doing. The passport program is something we're working towards. Economic recruitment. This is the new stuff that's coming to town, and we had success with that over the last couple of years. So since taking office, the grant list in East Windsor has grown by $50 million. That's in 2.5 years through a pandemic. That is really coming along. Our grant list last year, thanks to our assessor, went up by 4.2%. That is 10% higher than any community in the region that didn't implement a revow this year. That means that as our business base grows, that's less impact on taxpayers, whether they be commercial or residential, to keep essential government services going. So growing business is good, and we're seeing success with that. One of the key pieces to that that's going to be coming online in the next couple of years is the largest grid scale solar development in New England is going to be located in East Windsor. It's going to be generating between 120 and 145 megawatts of clean renewable energy. They're also going to be our largest taxpayer by a significant amount. When they're fully online, the tax revenue associated with that project will be more than $450,000 per year, plus an additional $1.5 million for capital investments. That is transformative. So we're very excited about that, and it's in the green space. It's something that's going to be beneficial for the environment. Two of our top 10 largest taxpayers have been located in East Windsor in the last 3 years. That is meaningful growth that we want to see continue. So how are we doing that? One of the things that we're trying to do from a government perspective is we have a developable properties list that's available, so that if you're a developer, if you're somebody from away and you're looking to locate your business here, we have an inventory that's updated regularly where you can see the available properties, who the ownership is, what the zoning is, what's allowable in the zone, what's the proximity to infrastructure, all of these things that people are looking for. Think of it like kind of a smaller version of, or a more localized version of MLS. We're trying to make it easy for somebody who wants to do business here to be able to say, where is their opportunity and how can I access it? we've also, this is something that Ruth and I were talking about before. I think this is kind of revolutionary in terms of other governments in Connecticut. I'm not sure that there's anybody else who's doing quite what we're doing in this space. So if you're a property owner and you are interested in developing property, but you don't yet have an end user, so you don't have somebody that you're going to lease to, or you don't have somebody that you're going to sell to, but you want to develop a parcel, you can actually run through a generic application through the town's zoning process now and take the parcel. We'll drop a generic building on it, just a square on a site plan. And they'll look at things like impervious site coverage, setbacks, wetlands delineations, all of those things that can be problematic to the development process. And we get effectively pre-approvals for those parcels. Then, when you as the property owner find somebody that you're actually going to develop with, the developing party, the party that's going to be the tenant or the business owner, has to come through the zoning process conceivably for 1 week. That's a 30-day turnaround in and out at worst. We're still doing all of the things that we need to do from a development perspective, but we're doing them in a little bit of a different order so that it becomes more business friendly on the part of those businesses that are looking for some place to locate. This is something that Ruth and I cooked up after some conversations with developers who have done work in other towns and talking about other planning and zoning processes. We think it works. We don't know that it works yet because the regs have only been in place for about a month, and we actually haven't had a taker yet. So we're still looking for that first beta project to go through to be able to demonstrate that, yes, this is something that can really help to streamline a process that on its best day is usually frustrating. So we're excited to see what comes of that. And we've kind of had some conceptual plans around it, but nobody's actually gone through the process yet. The other thing that we've started doing, and this is important from a development standpoint too, is we're starting to look at market analysis. Where are we oversaturated in terms of our local economy? Where are there opportunities? A couple of examples jump out. There are a lot of automotive businesses along the Route 5 corridor in particular. There's a lot. So the market saturation there is plentiful. But if you're on the eastern half of East Windsor, there's only one place to get a breakfast sandwich. So you start looking at market opportunities and to say, okay, if as we're having conversations with people, where really makes the most sense for them to locate whatever it is that they're trying to do, and how can we guide that development? Of course, tax abatements. So tax abatements are a tool that many municipalities have been using for a long time. We are a little slower to the game in that, although we're getting better at it. We passed an ordinance as a town back in 2017, I think, 16 or 17, that unfortunately is not enforceable. And it allows the town to do tax abatements for a 7-year period for certain conditions, but it delegates an authority from the town meeting to the Board of Selectmen that the statutes don't actually allow to be delegated. So the ordinance doesn't work is the long and short of it. So I have 2 things to share on that. We are operating under the statute and ignoring our ordinance. We're operating under the general statute, which does allow us to do tax abatements, although for a more limited purpose. We have been successful in negotiating those, and there have been some examples of that. But more to the point of the ordinance that doesn't really work. Just last week, the House of Representatives passed a bill that would actually change the statute to make our ordinance operative. And it would do that because the town has been an advocate for that change. It doesn't just affect East Windsor, it affects any town that has our form of government. So a town meeting form of government, we have to go to a town meeting for every tax abatement. That is slowing us down, particularly when we're next to South Windsor and Enfield, which have manager council forms of government. Their legislative body is the town council, so they are 2 weeks in and out. We're sandwiched between them and we're at a competitive disadvantage as the statute's written now. If the Senate passes House Bill 5166 and the governor signs it, that will change and we'll be in a more competitive position than we have. So that's exciting too. So again, talking about economic recruitment, we've tried to bring all of the pieces that we think we need together to have a meaningful impact. The tools that we've developed won't be as successful as they could be if nobody knows about them. So we have regular contact with partnering groups about the initiatives and opportunities that people may not be aware of in the community. We work with Advanced CT, Metro Hartford Alliance, 2 entities that are great for business clearinghouses to attract larger scale businesses to town, to people who may be looking to locate to southern New England between New York and Boston. That's the market that these folks cater to. So those larger developers who are not necessarily homegrown, but are looking for opportunity in a region of the country. We're more engaged with them than we have been. We've worked with Connecticut Main Street Center and our local chambers of commerce. That's an important piece of it. When I first took office, I had mentioned that I was interested in doing some of the business outreach, and I talked to Jim. I said, I don't know how to do this, so can you at least provide me with a list? And that got that whole initiative going. So that collaboration has been very helpful. The other thing that we've done in the last year or so, Ruth and I put together a driving tour for the folks from Advanced CT about marketable opportunities in town. We actually got people on a senior center bus, drove them around, fed them lunch, and we showed them all of the opportunities that we saw for development in the town of East Windsor. I think there were 18 different locations on that stop. But we had conversations with each one. What's the proximity to the highway? Where do you have sewer, water, and gas? Do you have what are the zoning restrictions on this parcel? What's the bidding price? All of those questions that you would want to ask from a development perspective. We actually got people on a bus and drove around and showed it. And I think that that's something that hopefully at least keeps us on their radar. The last piece is attitudes. And the efforts that have been put forward and the tools that have been developed won't be successful without the right attitude. Economic development is a team sport. There's not one person or one office that's responsible for it. It's a broad engagement. And everybody needs to be kind of rowing in the same direction to have that be beneficial. So a strong emphasis since I've taken office has been on customer service. I think the government, particularly local government, is here to work for people. And if you're not interested in working with people, there's not much reason for us to have you here and to pay you to do a job that's not going to engage the people that we work with. That customer service attitude and making sure that we're doing whatever we can has been a shift in some departments in town. But I have to say, the staff that I've brought on since 2019, I am really proud of. And whenever my time in office is up, that's going to be the legacy that I leave behind. The people that are here serving the public into the future. And lastly, people want to have confidence in their government. They want to know where their money is being spent. They want to know that they can trust us with it. And so the way you do that is through transparency. If you are looking at the Board of Selectmen's agenda, it used to be 2 or 3 pages. It's now typically somewhere between 100 and 140. The reason for that is because the entire packet that the Board of Selectmen gets to talk about during the session is now publicly posted for anybody who wants to participate to follow along and be able to read what it is that we're doing. The budget, we have now taken a step of adding additional transparency where you can drill down to the, Amy, help me out with the title here. Down to the, is it service center? No. What's the line?
The org?
Yeah, we can drill down to the, so can you explain the?
It's like a department. Each BW has 5 orgs.
Right.
So they have sanitation, they have their public works, they have their
more, you can go
town
deeper than that.
properties.
You can look into it, like, for example, you can see how much supplies are bought in my office. My department in particular, you can see how much we're spending on supplies. You can't see how much we're spending on paper versus pens, but you can see how much we're spending on supplies. That is a granular look into municipal finance. That's intended to give people confidence in how we're spending their tax dollars, because we're going to spend their tax dollars. We have things that need to be done. We have a community that needs to be supported. And that's not free, but we should be giving you as much transparency and as much opportunity to see where that's going as we can. So that's kind of a snapshot of the efforts that have been happening here over the last couple of years. One of the things that I was talking with, I was talking with Elise about this. We're always open to see how we can do something better. Just because somebody has an idea about something can be improved, I don't take to be a representation that we're doing something wrong. It's just a way of getting better that we haven't discovered yet. So if there's feedback people can provide to us, we want to know that, and we'll do what we can to implement that. It's a groupthink exercise. It's everybody's government, so we need the feedback. So that's what I have to say tonight. I got to say, I'm really excited to see the number of people who are here. I think this is great. I'm happy to take any questions, or I'll turn it back over to Jim and we can all enjoy the rest of the evening.
Jason. I just have one thing to say, and that's the Economic Development Commission meets, there was the second Tuesday, first Tuesday every month. And we would love to have business